Hey, all Star Wars fans, welcome back to the Nightmare. I'm the Lore Knight, your host, galactic storyteller, artist, and seeker of the lore, and today I have a huge video for you. This is so exciting to me being an artist. George Lucas, if you don't know, which you should know by now, he's building the Lucas Museum of Narrative Art, and it's opening next year. This is absolutely historical in the art world. The art world is not happy about it. It's something revolutionary. It's about narrative art, okay? And the art world's all about contemporary art right now. They're making big waves in the art world right now by opening this in the middle of LA. I'm excited about it because I am a narrative artist as well. Narrative art has kind of been looked down upon ever since its inception. If you don't know what narrative art is, it's comic books, basically any kind of piece that's telling a story with art, and a lot of it has been put down as being like entertainment. You know, it's just it's kids books, right, for kids. But this is bringing some of the world's greatest narrative artists to light, basically, and giving them validation in a actual art museum, which I think it's about time. You look back at the artists like Ralph McQuarrie and his art. You know, obviously it's adored by us Star Wars fans, but it's never been put up there. You know, it's been sold in books. It's been, you know, it's treasured by us, but it's never been put up in like a museum. That kind of art, concept art, narrative driven art has been looked down upon. And I think what George Lucas is doing with his museum is incredible. So it's making a lot of people in the art world uncomfortable, and that's exactly what George Lucas did with Star Wars. And a lot of people were saying, you know, oh, it's for kids, and what is this? It's not real movie making. But it turned out to be the greatest movie franchise in the United States. So imagine this. The man who built an entire galaxy from scratch says something was even harder. George Lucas just dropped a bombshell. He said creating his massive museum is tougher than inventing Star Wars. Stick around because we're going to get into this, and don't forget to subscribe. I'm going to be receiving insider updates about this museum. If you're as excited as I am about it, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let's get into this. We're going to be unpacking George Lucas's wild claim that building the Lucas Museum of Narrative Art is harder than crafting Star Wars. If you're a die-hard fan like me, you know Lucas isn't one to exaggerate. The guy revolutionized cinema. Let's set the stage with this. We'll start with Lucas's early days, okay? He was born in 1944 in Modesto, California. Young George was obsessed with cars, comics, and sci-fi serials like Flash Gordon. I do happen to know Flash Gordon personally, but that's a topic for another video. Imagine a teenage Lucas doodling spaceships instead of doing homework. That passion led to American Graffiti in 1973. That was his breakout hit that funded Star Wars. But Star Wars wasn't just a movie, it was a tech revolution. Lucas couldn't find any tech houses to match that imagination. So, long story short, he founded Industrial Light and Magic in 1975. He also created Skywalker Sound to capture all the sounds that we hear in the original trilogy. All the sounds we hear basically now, they're still being used. Ben Burtt, the sound wizard, recorded everything from elephant roars to Wookiees in his own voice for R2-D2's beeps. Also, that famous lightsaber sound that you hear, Burtt slammed a flashlight into cables for that hum. I'm saying all this basically to get you in the mindset of what we're going to be experiencing here with the Lucas Museum. You'll see why Lucas compares the museum to this chaos. Hit that like button to help spread the news, and it helps the algorithm pick this video up. So let's talk about Star Wars creation lore. Ralph McQuarrie. George Lucas's vision at the beginning needed artists to make it real, just like he says about the museum. Ralph McQuarrie, the concept art legend, hired in 1975, McQuarrie was the first to imagine and paint Tatooine's twin sons, Darth Vader's helmet, and C-3PO's golden shine. I have to accentuate this because it's so important. Those paintings are what convinced 20th Century Fox, okay, all the people in the big suits, to greenlight A New Hope. It was the art that helped them to understand what exactly George was saying, and I think that's why he feels he owes so much to the art, because that is exactly, it was his vision combined with the artist's skill and them being on the same page that made them greenlight Star Wars. So really, we have concept art to thank. We have Ralph McQuarrie's concept art to thank for that. Without them, there was no Star Wars. George once joked that McQuarrie made his scribbles look like masterpieces. Then there's Doug Chiang, who joined for the prequels in 1995 as head of Lucasfilm's art department. Chiang designed the N-1 Starfighter for the Phantom Menace. And that is one of my favorite ships, and it just so happens that they have a full-size N-1 at the museum, just waiting to be shown. It's sitting right now in the dark, probably under a tarp, and we're all just waiting to go see a full-size N-1 Starfighter. I can't wait. It's gonna be awesome. That Starfighter was inspired by 1930s Art Deco and hot rods. See, there's art again, and we're tying this all together, bear with me. Chiang's team created over 2,000 designs for Episode 1 alone, evolving the aesthetic from the gritty original trilogy to the polished prequels. Pod racers, he sketched those too. Then there's the creature designs. Some of the best alien creatures coming out of sci-fi were from Star Wars. Joe Johnston and Phil Tippett for creature designs. Tippett's stop-motion tantrums in Empire Strikes Back were so real, fans thought they were puppets. I gotta mention Dennis Muren. He made the optical compositing for those Death Star explosions. It was a high-tech movie back in those days. So, chronologically, from Lucas's 1973 rough draft to the 1977 release that grossed $775 million, that's a lot of money nowadays. Lucas bet Fox the film would flop. He traded sequel rights for merch, making him a billionaire. I'm gonna take a minute and ask you, who's your favorite concept artist in Star Wars? What art, or if you can name the piece, I'll find the person behind it and I'll let you know. My favorite piece is probably Darth Vader vs. Luke Skywalker for The Empire Strikes Back by Ralph McQuarrie. That was an awesome piece. I should have a print of that somewhere around here. So that brings us to the Lucas Museum of Narrative Art. Opening in 2026 in Los Angeles' Exposition Park, this billion-dollar beast is Lucas's post-Star Wars passion project. He calls it a temple for narrative art, from ancient cave paintings to modern blockbusters, 33 galleries just for narrative art. But Lucas says it's harder than building Star Wars. Why? This whole thing started way back in 2014. And they were talking about locations. Chicago and San Francisco rejected it before LA won. Lucas and his wife Melody Hobson, the business lady behind the powerhouse, led the charge, echoing how Lucas formed ILM and Skywalker Sound for Uncharted tech. So they were basically just saying, hey, look what he did before. Look how he changed the industry. We're trying to do that again. Just like needing McQuarrie to visualize Star Wars, Lucas relied on architects for the museum's futuristic design. It looks like a spaceship. It looks like a Republic ship just parked right in the middle of LA, and that is so cool to me. It's really breaking the... Also, just the architecture alone is breaking the mold of everything nowadays has to be a box. Everything is a square box. Everything is gray. It's boring looking. This is really just bringing even architecture. It's going to have an effect on architecture because it sparks the imagination just driving by it. I think it's going to take off to space at any moment. So there's going to be narrative art history and a smaller Star Wars gallery. Here's honestly one of the parts I'm looking forward to the most, the massive 33-foot N-1 Starfighter model built by Chiang. Lucas chuckled in interviews. He said, quote, "I did it grudgingly so fans don't riot. Where's the Star Wars?" Yeah, come on, George. I mean, of course we're going to be going there for the Star Wars, but myself being an artist, I'm going to be going there for the art just as much as the Star Wars stuff. So a couple more facts about the museum. It spans 300,000 square feet, housing Lucas's collection of 100,000 plus items. I thought my Star Wars collection was big, but that's a pretty big collection. This is including artists like Norman Rockwell paintings. Of course, you know who Norman Rockwell is, everybody knows. But, and comic art. Challenges, permits, funding, pandemics, tougher than wrangling Ewoks. Okay, that was a little joke I put in there, sorry about that. Yeah, so since 2014, as you may remember, we've had kind of a challenge making things, filming movies, everything in between. So I'm just happy all that's over and now we're ready to rock with this museum. There are a lot of parallels between Star Wars in 1977 and what he did with the film industry and the art industry right now, which makes me excited because I think it's been long time. It's been a long time coming for something new in art, something other than contemporary art. Okay, something new and exciting, something that more people can be a part of, something that'll bring more people to the art world, because art is, look, it's a topic for another video, but art is so important to humanity. Lucas has moved past Star Wars after selling it to Disney in 2012 for $4 billion. He said, quote, Disney gave it their vision. That's what happens. So I did a short on that a little while ago. You know, we said, okay, George, do your thing, because we know that he's going to make something crazy again, and those gears are turning again, so I am happy about that. Now the museum is his legacy, influencing future storytellers. Martin Scorsese praised him as a tech art pioneer. This shows creativity's evolution from films to institutions. For fans, it's a pilgrimage site with authentic lore like McQuarrie's originals. Yeah, I'm going to be going to see that, but there's so much more to this museum than Star Wars art. I mean, in the pod racers, the N-1, the speeders, that's all I think we know about right now. Let's wrap this up. Lucas's journey proves vision trumps obstacles. Whether galaxy building or museum making, it's about storytelling, and it's always been about storytelling ever since he told the story of Star Wars. It's always been, that's the point, and I believe that that's the point of art too. Art is supposed to make you feel. Art is supposed to make you, my art, as an example, is supposed to bring you closer to the divine in nature. It's a cross section between nature and the divine. Art has always been narrative. Art has always been storytelling in nature. And you know what? We're going to make a whole nother video about that. Ever since the beginning of time, cave paintings were narrative in nature. And it's about time that narrative art is getting its seat on the throne, finally, again. Again, I will be bringing you insider news. I'll be bringing you up-to-date news that you'll see here first before it gets put out to the public, and I'm gonna be sharing that with you as it comes out. So make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe, like this video, because we gotta get the word out there. We all gotta be there for opening day. Okay, it's gonna be a crazy party. I'm bringing you with me anyway. You'll still get to see it, but I hope I get to meet you there. I hope if you didn't know about the Lucas Museum before this, you know now, and there's still a good amount of time before it opens, so we're going to be talking about it till then. I'm sure some really cool stuff's going to be coming out about it. Again, comment down below. Is this the first you're hearing about this museum? Are you excited? Are you going to go? I'm within driving distance, so I'm definitely going to go. I'm going to be there opening day, and I will see you next time.